Princess, you could never guess how happy I am to be here.
Yeah, I bet you are.
It's a good thing you don't bring your old man along on trips like these.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's just leave my husband out of it.
This love affair. This love affair. This love affair. Oh, my heart.
Hi, I'm Junior Giscombe, and you're watching The Real Soundcheck Podcast.
Hi, this is Carl McIntosh from the group Loose Ends, and you are watching The Real Soundcheck Podcast.
What's up, people? This is your boy Omar saying you're watching The Real Soundcheck Podcast.
One day, this intro is going to be real smooth. One day, this intro is going to be real smooth. You got to unmute yourself. Mr. Plantenovich, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh,
Plantenovich.
Igor Plantenovich.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Igor.
I have all of the plantains.
The switch, Igor, the switch.
1, 2, 3.
One plantain.
It's not enough.
Plantain.
Still more.
One plant. Oh, dear me.
Please don't try and give me one.
Oh,
Just don't make
good
sense.
grief. Good grief. Blessings.
Evening all.
Evening.
What we doing here?
Righty.
Make good.
I'm playing. Good evening. We are, of course, the Real Soundcheck Podcast. We are here each and every Monday from the hours of 9 p.m. Till 11 p.m. usually Mondays UK time. All right. Normally 7 of us on screen. As you see, there are only 4 of us today. Butch Cassidy hopefully will be joining us at some point. No Mr. Diesel today. I don't believe we have Mr. Diesel or Friction with us today, but saying salutes to the brothers.
Salute.
Indeed, salute.
And we look forward to them being back on the screen with us sooner, hopefully, rather than later. Good evening to all the family rolling in the chat. Good evening to the Diva Speaks. T-Dot is in the building. Much love to you, Diva. Bless up. Good evening to our wonderful mod, Michi Boo. Peace and many blessings to you, Michi Boo. Thank you for being here and looking after us. We appreciate you. Good evening to the General. Platts Pro is in the building. Salute. Platts Pro.
One Platts.
Production.
Salute. In it, Platts Pro. Can't just call him Platts Pro. Platts Pro Production.
Speak the man full name.
In it.
Done.
Can I have your name, sir? Yes, Mr. Productions. Platts Pro Productions. In it. 008. Anyway.
Esquire, you know.
Esquire.
Good evening, Miss Naturally J. Good evening to you. Happy Monday to you as well, Miss Naturally J. Blessings. Good to see you in the place. Good evening to Kamzi. Good evening to you. Says evening or evening back to you, Kamzi.
Good evening.
Blessings and happy Monday to you. Oi.
Get the points
All right,
where you
mate.
can. Get the
All
points
right,
where
mate.
you can.
All right, mate. Get a room.
Get the points where you can.
Melissa Dees. Good evening, Melissa Dees. We're not right. We are so left, you know, because we ain't right. We are so left. Good evening, Melissa Gilly. Look at that. The 2 Melissas rolling the same. Anytime there's one Melissa, there is another. The other Melissa is right behind. Mm-hmm. So big up Melissa Dees and Melissa Gilly just rolling. Look at that. Both of them. 9:09 p.m. Both of them exactly the same time. Wow. It must be
People
in the
are
same
going to start
room.
to talk.
In it, same room, same bar, wherever it is they are. Bless up, Melissa. All right. And also got to say good evening to Mr. Sexy Mike. is in the building.
Hey,
Hey.
in the place.
Butch
In
In the
the
place.
In
In the
Top
place.
tier.
Good evening.
Yes.
Top tier.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
My man is properly stepping it up around here. You know, he's got the sexy mic. Now he's got the shallow depth of field background with the camera.
Check him out. Check him out. It's a
Right?
whole
He's
new
got
level.
the fresh cuts. He said, "Yo,
Yeah,
what's
man.
going on, man? What's going on, boy?
Man.
What's going on?
What a man.
Happy
can't
times,
just-
man. Happy times. Happy times.
Standard levels. What are you talking about?
Times,
Man
man.
coming in here looking pretty like Cameo and thing. You know what I mean?
Stop it.
Word up.
Like cameo, you know. Good evening, gents.
Ow.
Ow. Ow.
What you saying, brother? Welcome
I'm
in,
good.
man.
I'm good.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man.
Another week.
Another one.
Ow.
Give thanks.
Dash
All right. All right. Tech, I'm gonna I know you've got your finger on all the buttons this week, so
Yeah.
can I hand it over to you to kick us off?
Well, you know I've got my fingers on all the buttons, so can I kick it off? Yeah, go right, mate. Yeah.
All right. Before we start pushing buttons, then let's do just a quick general check-in, as everybody.
Let's do that.
As the week going. Know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Open to anybody.
Yeah, this weekend was a good one. I linked up, actually went out with some people from work. There was a little work get together. I haven't seen anybody for a while because I work from home for the majority of the time. And we went over into Birmingham, did a bit of bowling, went to this bar called, I think it's called N64. But basically what it is, the premise of this bar is it's got all old school arcade games.
NQ64.
Is it NQ64? Right, okay. It's the first time I've been in there. But so is it a chain, is it? I'm assuming.
Yeah. I went to the Oxford Street one.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's got all like sort of old school arcade games in there and the bars in there, and it was dope. We were just beating up people on Mortal Kombat. So that was fun. You know what I
Is
mean?
the one where it's kind of like in a courtyard and there's other little places around it?
Which one in Birmingham?
What, in Birmingham?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's in the custard factory. So yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
in that bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it was dope. Just a nice afternoon. You know what I mean? And back by 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Lean off. So it was cool. You know what I mean? It was the way forward, man.
How was your
Daytime
you
sessions.
did one of your events recently, didn't you? The Buddha Park.
Yeah,
And I wasn't here on Monday to get an update. So how was that?
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice. It was a good week actually that week because I did a screening of The Harder They Come over at the Heritage Centre for Windrush 75.
Good.
That was wicked.
For
And
those who don't
then
know the Heritage Centre, that's like African Caribbean Cultural Centre in Wolverhampton.
yeah, it's like all the elders were in there.
All the elders.
It was funny though because it was kind of like it was mainly elders. I'm not sure how many people there was. Probably about 70, 80 people there, and it was all big people. You know what I mean?
How did they receive it?
To start off with, they were kind of. You could sit down, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't watch this, you know. You know what I mean? But by the end of it, do you know what I mean? What sort of like, about 20 minutes in, they kind of bought into the whole ethos of we're watching this together, and they were running joke and remember one-liners from the film, and you know what I mean? So the vibe was nice, man. It was nice. It was really nice. So it was a success. And then on the Saturday of that week, we had Buddha Palm return back to the Bradmore Arms with The Last Dragon. It was heavy, man. London was ill.
You were out twice in 1 week.
Yeah. 2 days later, I had Buddha Palm again.
Nice.
And that was dope, man. We had like Mortal Kombat up on the big screen. We had an 85-inch plasma screen with Mortal Kombat on. Had my screen up there with the film on. And, you know what I mean? People battling on there, little dancing, little joke. It was beautiful, man. You know what I mean? My sister Karen James came down to see me. It was good, man.
Glad I missed it.
Nice.
It was good, man. It was good. It was hot as hell in there, though. But it was good. It was good.
Wow.
We know what we say about drawing heat. So.
I don't know. What am I missing? What's that saying?
Black people draw heat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that one.
Is that science? There's science behind that, right?
There's a lot of science behind it. Yeah.
All right.
Proven. Just like there's so many things that shouldn't be said.
But I'm gonna say it anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it anyway. So you know they say where we go, grass don't grow. There's that saying too. These are American things y'all probably have never heard of.
Okay, all right. That makes me feel better because I'm like,
Just like that.
I'm sure I went to school. I'm sure. Let's up.
There's other sayings as well, isn't it? Like, you know, never get there before 8:30.
Yeah, that's an ethos. That's a whole way of life.
Those are words to live by.
Good evening to good evening to G-Force Leroy.
G-Force in the building.
Yeah, it's just turned up. Big up G-Force. Bless up.
Yoga Dan, what you saying, sir?
Bless up, G-Force.
Speaking
Happy
of those
Monday.
chocolates, your boy Ellis will be at One Nation on Friday.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Wait.
Is he still looking for the after eights?
You better have some after eights. It may be another controversy.
Oh, there's gonna be some furniture moving around, and
it's gonna be a big misunderstanding.
I've never met anybody so passionate about a box of after eights.
Hey, mate, when it's yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it wasn't. That's the whole point. It wasn't. He didn't win.
He's flying in for his after eights.
Coming from Washington, from some chocolate.
Like in Snatch. I'm coming to London.
Cup of tea, London.
Dave, how's your week been, sir?
It's been a nice one. Man. Kind of relaxing and stuff. Didn't get up to nothing too crazy. Just catching up on bits and pieces, working on a bit of good news, working on a bit of thing. But what tech has reminded me of is actually today I got a message from Meetup. And it was saying it's 14 years since I became an organizer on that platform, and that was for Caramel Film Club.
Wow. And
he just reminded me of the original ethos of the film club, which was to get people together to enjoy these films in a relaxed, calm environment, relive some of the memories, find some new memories, meet some good people, and chill and relax and just enjoy. Play some music before, play some music after. And so it's been 14 years since I started the account. Maybe not 14 years since I started the actual first one, but you know, I was looking for the platform to do that. So it was a nice trip down memory lane that text just given me.
Nice, man. And you were doing the Caramel Film Club for a while as well, innit?
That's what it was. That's what. So it's been. That was 2009. I started the film club, Caramel Film Club. Yeah, and that was because I was realizing that Tyler Perry films weren't being shown over here. So I thought, well, if they're not going to do it, then why don't we just do it ourselves?
Yes.
So it was a case of just find the venue, chop up the higher fee by the number of seats.
Yeah,
makes sense. And you just enjoy. Just private screenings, and it was a lot of fun, very enjoyable. Some good memories. Met some nice people as well over the years.
Nice.
Oh, that's
nice.
very.
Would you fancy reinstigating that again?
It wouldn't be something that I would totally dismiss. It would be a case of venues, because I want the venues to be a certain way. I don't want people on hard chairs. Generally, you know. I'd like them to have, not necessarily, I'm not saying, you know, swish the Ritz and Champs-Elysees and stuff, but just a little something that gives a bit more of the experience of cinema.
Would you want it to be in London or somewhere else?
They were generally in London. I like to have them sort of close by to train stations so that people after work can come pass through, finish at a certain time, they can get home in time for the next day.
Because there's some boutique cinemas. We can chat about it offline, but there's some boutique cinemas. One down in Leicester Square. There's one in Clapham. But the thing with it is, what you've conquered is getting the agreement to play it and sell tickets, the rental licensing fee or whatever that is.
Yeah, there was things to do with that we had to take into consideration, but we got around it and managed to have some nice screenings in some nice small venues. There's a place in Balham that we used to use.
That might be the place I'm talking about.
Maybe. And then I found a place in Bank, which was like a private members club. I just got fortunate.
Members club, you know.
It was a fortunate.
Some Freemason business. That's all like that. Show nipple. And
Nod, wink, wink. Wow. He said show nipple. Wow. Okay.
Man said show nipple, you know. We're talking
nipple, you know.
decent
shirt
flim
way
here.
up. Pull your shirt way up to show nipple, you know, all of that.
Get me? So me here.
look. Bush ain't got nothing. He's just shaking his head. Like,
There's a look of general disgust.
General disgust and disappointment.
No,
Sorry,
he's,
man.
he's looking like, how did the word
Like-
get out? That's what he's
like,
looking like.
I left my food for this. I left my dinner.
Oh no, I would never leave the food. The food got dealt with.
Priorities.
Yeah, man.
Grown folks, how's things with you, sir?
Man,
Good.
A plus, can't complain. They had a very nice, relaxing weekend. Yeah, man, it was great. Good stuff. I was supposed to go to Love Supreme, but I just couldn't. I couldn't mentally get myself together to go deal with that crowd and all of the shenanigans and complications that go with getting to the stage. And so yeah, but I still enjoyed myself with my family.
Nice.
And it was also, I didn't go to that either. I don't know why I'm naming all the stuff I didn't go to. It was also the Croydon Food Festival that I drove past. So
That I
I didn't go to that either.
Going back.
That's his review. I drove.
Yeah, man. I drove.
Imagine-
busy. It looked alright still.
Yeah, it looked all right still.
Imagine this is the week the national podcast competition's listening. And my master, well, I didn't go there. I didn't do that. I didn't this. I drove past that. Very insightful podcast. Great. Lovely.
But we keep it 1,000 on this podcast. That's what's important. We keep
That's
it
funny,
1,000.
man. So what? Nah, I didn't go there, man. What about that? Nah, I didn't go.
This festival was on that. I drove past.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. That's so funny. It's like, nah, man. People who don't like people, allow them. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh,
That's right.
Dave. Before I forget,
So funny.
I was on Peace, Love and Planting on at the weekend. Ordered a couple of new teas. I like some of the new designs you got over there, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank you for your patience.
like,
Thank you.
nice,
Thank
cool.
you,
But I'm
patronage.
liking the new designs. Some of the new. You got like everything. I was amazed at the range you've got over there. You've got everything. It's like peace, love, and everything. You should have one of those. That's what you're gonna have next. Peace, love, and everything. You got like peace, love, and everything over there.
Loads of
put a
food,
link in.
loads of
We should
drinks,
put a
so
link in.
prosecco,
Everything.
full,
From all over the world.
peppercorn,
Man's got
guinea pig,
Jamaican, Caribbean, African,
Rice
Ghanaian,
and
Corey's
Nigerian,
out.
macaroni,
Italian. He's got everything. He's got everything everywhere.
and then a few things to do. Mainly, you know, when you vary it a little with the plantain theme, those are the ones that have got the most, of course. But then there's good energy, which you're going to get one of those. as well.
Yes, I ordered
Yeah.
one of those. Yeah. So yeah,
good
man,
energy is, you know.
loving that. People, if you haven't already, check out Peace, Love and Planting t-shirts. Right? Is that Peace, Love,
Yes,
and
Peace, Love, and
Peace, Love and
T-shirts.
Planting? Peace, Love and T-shirts. Sorry, beg your
T-shirts.com.
pardon.
Yeah.
Thank you. .com or check them out on Insta as well. There's a whole heap over there. I wore my original Peace, Love and Planting one to death now, man. It just I need to update it. So yeah, head over to there, people, if you haven't already. Butch, wagwan, sir. Top tier.
How's things?
And may I ask you?
All is well, you know.
You got a serious delay.
Delays hard.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
delays. I can't. I've tried to fix it.
It's because of the background. When you put that on, it's
Oh, is that
yeah.
what it is?
that's what's doing it, mate. Yeah.
Racism.
Yeah, man. It's because you're black, bro. Straight.
It is.
Black people can't have blurred background, you know. That's what I'm saying.
No, sir. We want to see what's going on in the back of your house.
Let's see what sort of activity.
The only activity you're gonna see is the big leaky bloody ceiling I've got. I couldn't get my backdrop up in time. So it's either, man, which one am I gonna deal with? Delay or not delay? Try. You lot are
You just look
family.
like you're in a kung fu flick, man. You good? You know what I mean?
Hey, how are
Need
you?
some time to put your
Come
backdrop
here.
on.
Let's go now. We want to fight me? Let's go.
Oh, boy.
You need more hands.
That's actually dialogue.
Yes.
Is that better? Hey, don't look at the back of my house.
that's
Hey.
not-
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, it's better. It's a lot better.
Is it?
Saturday, what did I do Saturday? Saturday. Oh, house stuff. Did all of that. Friday and Saturday, in fact, I played at the strip club. That was good. Got the girls into a routine. We play a song, and then they all come out, and then everyone can't believe it. And then
What's
it's
it like
good.
playing at a strip club? That must be like, it's not like a major distraction, because I get distracted when people come ask me for candy.
I bet it's
Never mind when there is candy today. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? It's much less flashing the candy. You know what I mean?
To answer your
I bet it's hard. I bet it's hard.
To answer your question,
Yes, it is.
Pause. Yeah, pause. As the youth man say, it can be a distraction, especially if you see something you like. You know what I mean? Come on, let's keep it 100. But because I'm the control master, I get them on, off, you know, boost them up, and I'm part of the night. It's part of my routine, isn't it? Because in between that, I'm playing music and keeping the places buzzing and people drinking and so forth. So it's all right. It's all right. As I said, it literally has its perks.
And we'll leave that there.
Leave that right there, man.
Right
Yeah,
there.
man. Yeah.
But on Sunday, I was fortunate enough to be invited to like an all-dayer thing, courtesy of MJR family, Wear Something Red, and I have to say it was all right. I really, really, really liked. It was. I like the fact they had a more mature crowd as well, but they mixed it up. They had literally have 2 floors of a banqueting suite. So you can literally, and that's what I like when people think about things, you can go between the floors. So if one's playing reggae, the other one had like a soul sound on. And then when one was playing house, the other one had maybe rare groove on. So you can literally find your own little place and so forth. Then they had the garden of the banqueting suite. And then they had two different food, because you know sometimes one food ain't good, right? So they had 2 different people doing food. And it was just, you know, being 3 till 11 o'clock, well thought out, well executed. Everyone, you know, dressed up, done their thing. Nice. It was good. It was good to see our kings and queens dressed to the red 9s. It was good. It was a nice little event. Nice little event, man.
Nice.
Check it out. Vinyl Sofa said keep it PG, right?
And
Keep
then
it
she
PG,
says,
guys. Perky perks.
Perky perks.
Perky perks.
Perky perks.
Perky perks.
And then Diva chimes in with Vinyl Sofa, are they always perky?
You see where we started?
Yes.
It's disappointing, man. I thought people are more highbrow that listen to this podcast.
I know. It lets you know who's the audience, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We aimed higher.
Tall. You know what I mean?
Good evening to Vinyl Sofa. Good evening. Bless up.
Big
Great
up,
to see you
sis.
in the place. Good evening to Bigger G. Says salute, gents. Salute,
Bigger G. Big up.
Big up to Lil H. Shout out to Lil H. Shout out to Erica, Theon, the whole family. Bless up. Also, good evening to Lainey J. You know we're gonna get some jokes now. Lainey J is in the building. Big up, Lainey J. It's a good job. She just missed that little section there on the strip club.
Serious, man.
Here's some things. Lainey's got jokes. My week has been cool. Very busy. Lord Finesse on Monday, last week Monday was super dope.
Saw the photo as well, man. Dopeness.
Listen, I got more to post. But yeah, it was really, really good. He's a super, super cool, super humble dude. Very professional.
Yeah, you were saying something about the preparation, man. Elaborate a little bit about that.
So the way he put his backing tracks together, he kind of like grouped them. And normally what I'm used to is an artist will have the tunes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And they'll put them in order and I just run them one at a time. And they'll let me know when to go to the next track. Ness did them differently. He kind of grouped like about 3 or 4 tracks together in one kind of tune, and then he kind of did little outros because he knew he was going to talk at the end of a tune. So he'd do the track, then go into like an instrumental, and then go right into the next one, and did that for like about 3 or 4 tracks in. So there was one time, one of the first ones, he ended the first track and he ended the lyric by saying, "Yo, watch how DJ Croc kicks it." Now, 9 times out of 10, when an MC says that to me who's performing, that's my cue to go to the next track. So he said that, and I went into autopilot and went to the next track, and he was like, "No." Why'd you change it? No. So then I had to fling it back on and find the spot where he wanted to continue from real quick. Man, when you talk about pressure. Was
he cool though?
Yeah, he was super cool. Yeah. But I'm not used to that. So
yeah.
The way he organized his music for the whole show was great. It was great. And he stayed behind afterwards, signed everything, signed everybody that was queued up. There was a long queue to sign this and buy 7s and sign them, take pictures. He dealt with everybody. You know, super cool. And then at the end of the night, he was on a FaceTime with Chuck D. Super dope.
What the fuck, man?
Turn the camera around. Everyone's like, "Yo, Chuck."
Power to the people, say. You know what I mean?
Super dope. And Butch just reminded me about an event that I'm doing at the end of the month, which is a weekender. Talking about that MJR or RJR, event. Kind of sounds like the weekend I'm doing at the end of the month in Pakefield, but I'll start putting up promo and stuff for that maybe tomorrow. But it's looking like sound like something similar, you know, that kind of all singing, all dancing, things going on all over the place, different rooms with different music where you can just go in and out of and all of that. So yeah, I'll share some stuff about that probably tomorrow. But it's been a good week, productive.
Dope.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Boom. All right, so Tech.
Yo,
should we have sexy graphics time and then we get into it?
Yeah, man. Let's get with the sexy, mate. Let's get with the sexy.
Oh, well, all right.
Right then. So it's been a while since we've done any film or TV series reviews. So we thought, you know what I mean? We've been watching some good stuff. So let's just bring it to the table and see if it's things that you have either watched yourself or things that you've come across, or maybe something that we can spark your interest in. So this first one up here, crazy, lovely, cool, is one by Dave Knight. Am I correct?
That's correct, sir.
Dave, man, fill us in, sir. Fill us in.
Yes, this lovely 10-part series on Netflix, currently on Netflix, Crazy, Lovely, Cool, is a coming-of-age TV series that takes a fun look at the lives and struggles of a group of charismatic students whose paths cross on campus of Nigeria's largest university via the shocking revelations of an eponymous gossip blog. And then a travesty happens on campus and you follow then the paths that they take, and there's some twists and turns in this. I found it was a very entertaining watch, and the quality of productions coming out of Africa is just stepping up, and I'm glad that Netflix has given a lot of these some airtime and some chance for us to really enjoy them. But I don't think many people talk about them outside of the circles themselves. So I thought I'd bring this one to the table as something you might have missed, because it's not necessarily something that came out very, very recently, but it may be something that you might want to check out 1 episode, 2 episodes and think, should I continue? Yes or no? And enjoy. So that's Crazy, Lovely, Cool.
Would you give it out of 10, Dave?
I would give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right.
7.5 out of 10. It was a nice thing that kept me thinking, what's happening next, episode after episode after
So
episode.
what was missing from it to make it a 10?
It's some of it you kind of familiar with what might happen, and you know some of the acting, it will be that you're kind of familiar with already.
Right.
You know, there's I'm not saying there's room for improvement in their acting.
Butch just said a whole paragraph in that laugh. You know that, innit? He just said a whole paragraph in that laugh.
No, it's Dave's eloquence. His eloquence is so beautiful. His eloquence is beautiful. Some of the acting you what did you say, may have experienced already. I just think that is just beautiful. It's so polite. I wish I had that. I wish I had it. I wish. Sorry, go ahead.
But the production quality is very good. It's I guess on par with, let's say, maybe your EastEnders type of production.
Okay.
It's up there. And once upon a time, especially with Nollywood films, I don't know who was taking care of the sound levels, but they just weren't in control. And it was just clipping all the time. But in these productions, you won't get that at all with this lovely 10-part series here on Netflix.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
And then in the next one that we come across, again, something you may have missed, still in the cinemas, Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, many of you may have already seen this, but there's a couple of things that kind of stood out to me, and it made sense after I saw a post by Toby Nge. But the plot is the homeworld of Maximals, which is these beasts who are also robotic. An advanced race of Cybertronians with beast modes comes under attack from the planet-eating dark god Unicron. His heralds, the Terracons, and an army of Predacon scorpions led by Scourge seek to obtain for their masters the Maximal's greatest piece of technology, the Transwarp Key, which can open portals through space and time. The Maximal leader, Ape Link, sacrifices himself to allow the Maximals to escape the planet. So this is all in the beginning, before Unicron devours it. Now under the command of Optimus Primal, the Maximals use the key to flee Earth. So there's a lot of, first of all, it was much better than I expected. Much, much better than I expected. And one thing that stood out for me was the soundtrack.
Oh,
the soundtrack
mate.
was like, what's going on here? It's just like, it was a wonderful piece of audio heaven, shall we say, especially
if you're a hip hop lover.
If you're a hip hop lover and you've got the cinema speakers coming up, they're bobbing your head, and it's like, okay, I haven't heard this in ages. Some of the songs you'll hear, Wu-Tang, Cream, Tribe Called Quest, Check the Rhyme, SWV, Anything, Nas, Represent. Like, Nas has got tracks that people would normally push in, like Got Yourself a Gun or Fire with the World, but they chose Represent. It's like,
first album.
Yeah. Rebirth of Slick, Diggable Planets, Black Sheep, The Choice is Yours. LL Cool J, Knock You Out, and Biggie, Hypnotize. And there is a track that I will share with you guys called On My Soul. Toby and Nas and Jason Banks put this together for the soundtrack. Look, Melly Mel saw it in 4D, and that was horrific, but the film and soundtrack...
Melly fill me in on that, man. It creased me up.
Because I'm guessing, 4DX I'm guessing at Cineworld, because that would have thrown you about left, right, and centre. That chair does get a bit violent sometimes in certain 4DX screenings. But this was directed by Stephen Caple Jr., first black director to do a Transformers. Usually it's Mr. Michael Bay. And when I heard that, I thought, right, that makes sense as to why the soundtrack is so great. And you'll find hip-hop elements within the film as well, from fist bumps and things like that. Just little nuances. A couple new characters that also were good. And the two main characters are also melanated, so that was a nice touch there. So Stephen Caple seemed like he had a bit of free reign on how the production was done, and I think he did a pretty
Dave,
job.
as a film watcher, do you have a time limit on spoilers?
A time limit on spoilers?
In the sense of, if you haven't watched the film after a month, it's too late. Like, you should have gone and watched it, and you could say stuff. Or
I don't know.
Because there's elements of this film that need to be discussed. There's elements of this film.
Do you know what?
That
I
need
haven't
to
seen
be
this. I'm
discussed.
gonna have to watch this, man. I'm gonna have to watch this.
Come on, man. Did it come out in June?
I haven't watched this,
that's
man.
why I've put this in the sort of what you may have missed, because it's gonna be out of the cinema in probably a week
Melly
or two.
Mel, there is time limit on spoilers, man. The film come out a month ago. It's a month. You got 4 weeks to go and watch the film.
Statute to limitations, you know. People quoting chapter and verse here in the chat.
What would you give it? What would you give it out of 10, Dave? What would you give it? Marks out of 10.
I would probably give this an 8.789 out of 10.
Ross, that's well thought through. Do you know what? I've kind of the whole sort of franchise, the Transformers franchise, was like a favorite in our household. My youngest daughter used to love them. She used to watch the first one every week, dressed as Bumblebee. Used to watch it when she was little, and it's kind of fallen off a bit. So I will definitely check this and get back up to speed with it.
It's all right. It's all right the way they've done it. But oh man, can I ask a question?
No.
Shall we ask everyone to mute if you don't want to hear it?
No.
I can say it without saying it because I'm not going to say it. All I just wanted to say is, did you go to the chocolate drop at the end? The thing at the end.
The chocolate drop.
Yeah, what are they called?
Easter eggs.
Easter egg. Yeah, the same thing. Did you go to the chocolate drop? Have you seen it?
I usually do stay to the end, but I can't recall what that one was.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, come
Yo,
on.
that was loud, you know.
Sorry.
I thought something broke. I didn't realize that was much, you know.
I've started to watch this thing, and I've tried to watch it twice, I think, already. Obviously, me saying that is exposing that I'm watching it on one of my Banduli channel. Them, but I tried to watch it twice, and
allegedly,
allegedly,
you were ruining it for everybody.
It didn't. The fact that I've tried to watch it twice and still haven't got through to the end kind of says it all, really. You know what I mean? In that it did not hold my attention.
No, you can't say it says it all.
It does for me. It does for me. It does for me. For me, that means it didn't hold my attention.
No, I get you.
All the others films held me. Like I'm there on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
And sorry?
I say even the last night.
The last night.
No, the last night was slow.
That was
a bit slow.
So the reason why I say this, I would as well for what I've seen. But the reason I say this is because, like Tech was saying, that massive Transformers fan in the household as is here, but it's kind of fell off, and I kind of feel the same way in that the Transformers thing has just kind of fell off. And I was watching this, feeling like this is more of the same, really, and some of the acting. I just felt was almost like
a bit robotic.
It's like daytime television-ish almost. I wasn't really impressed with it.
Oh, that's harsh, man.
Well, I haven't finished watching it, but
this harsh. No, I hear what you're saying though, because the film does have to grip you for you to be able to.
I mean, how many Transformers? How many of these films can there be?
Well,
there's always something we have to find this in order to save Cybertron.
Wait, hold on. Your answer. Grown folks just said it. Say it again, grown folks.
There was 10 of the Fast and Furious.
Thank you. How much times can you race the car, get in a car, and drive it fast?
Mate, that's one thing I've got no time for. I've got no time for that, man.
I've
got no time for that.
But if anyone was an original Transformers person from the movie to everything else, you know that there was the Beastmasters mode. Then there was different series. There was all. It was a long story. It wasn't just a quick going back to Cybertron, coming back out.
It's essentially the same in every film.
What, in every Transformers film?
Yeah.
It's essentially the same story.
In some of the earlier ones, I think like the acting and it wasn't just the acting, but it was the script was good, like with Mark Wahlberg and his kind of dynamic with his daughter, and the boyfriend come around who was like a race car
So
driver.
you didn't like my man.
No, I quite like those, right? But then I can't remember which one it was that I kind of half watched. And I was like,
it was the crossover one when it crossed over from him to Wahlberg. The crossover one. Remember, there was one where it crossed over.
You know what's going to happen.
Because then Wahlberg took over, didn't he? If you worked it out.
Happen. You know what's going to happen. Everything is building up to a big fight scene between Optimus Prime and Megatron, or whoever is the big fish at the end. And Optimus Prime saves
but that's like every Rocky movie. That's like every.
Exactly. But the whole point is, how many times can you rehash the same story? Maybe that's the thing I'm trying to say. How many times can you rehash the same story before it just basically becomes uninteresting now, because we know this already. We've seen it how much times.
That's the hero story. That's an actual technique of filmmaking that somebody would have to break that mold. The hero story is a classic sort of temperament of how a film can develop.
Because that's it. I think, in fact, you've actually supported the answer, because they are trying to go home, but they want to help Earth. But the Decepticons are always messing around with Earth, and they want to come and help the humans from the Decepticons. That was the premise.
Okay. So how many Transformers films have there been so far?
Too many.
But hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on, how many has there
the
been?
Wizard of Oz story. She wants to go home, but she wants to help. But then there's the things that's bothering.
It's not like a Wizard of Oz 10.
But no.
How many has there been? How many has there been? How many has there been? 5, 6?
I don't know.
5. I swear there's 5.
But then how
do
many
you think there's been enough kind of? Is there like a sort of continuation of the story throughout the 5, or can you watch each in isolation?
Yeah, you can watch them in isolation, I think.
Yeah.
And that's
so. Do you think there's enough variance between the 5 films?
No, I'm saying there isn't, because the story is essentially
crossover.
the same.
There is crossover stories that go through it.
There's probably crossover stories, but there's like, like say for example, if you watch Rocky, I don't know how many Rockies, and then you got
7,
Creed,
6,
right? But then however many, right? But you watch that film, right? You can watch each in isolation, but there's also things that you can take from the earlier ones that that make you enjoy the newer film even more. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's the case with Transformers. I think you can just watch one on its own as gotcha. You know what I mean? I know everything I need to know. You know what I'm saying?
To a degree, there's elements of the Wiccans and how they go back, and then how the information is put through this. As I said, it's either your bag or not your bag for you to enjoy it. Yes, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yes, you can watch them as isolated films and say, wow, they've actually made the cartoon a film. Excellent. But if that's your level of interest, then that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the story that goes through it and how they were here before we thought they were here, and et cetera, in the movie, then they play on that, and then they use it, and then they show you off-world and on-world, which is what the Transformers was about. So I don't know. There's elements of it.
Let's have a look at what some of the people in the chat are saying.
Also
Rocky 1 and 2 are untouchable. Rocky 3 is the best Rocky. I'll fight you for it, mate. Rocky 3, man.
Vinyl Sofa says Transformers. Vinyl Sofa said there's too many Transformers. Melly Mel, good evening, Melly Mel says, to be fair, Croc, I hear you on that. It didn't grip me the same, but I still loved it. Good evening to Shell Blackwell. Says, I refuse to go past 5 in any series. Harry Potter was the only exception and only got a pass because I'd read the books. Good evening also to Shania, in the place I've seen Shania's name pop up somewhere as well. Good evening, Shania. Lainey says they should have stopped at the first one.
Yo, people are roasting Transformers. Optimus Prime, bad man. What do you mean?
Mitchie Boo says she preferred the cartoon, and I'm with you on that, Mitchie. I preferred the cartoon as well, to be honest.
Tough.
You know something that they haven't really transmuted from the transposed from.
They haven't. You can say it. They haven't transformed. You can say it. They haven't transformed. You can say it.
They haven't put in the actual Transformer sound. It's just some.
Yeah, because I think the sound and the anything from the original movie copyrighted. They're not letting go of it.
Right.
Right.
They're not letting go of it because if you see how the movie, they could take the word Unicron, but it can't be Unicron as we know it. It's the same way Bumblebee looks different. Optimus, when you really look at him, he looks totally different. There's elements that you just can't touch, and I think the original is
How that one go again?
Hark and spit.
Hark and spit.
Hacking on my brain.
But yeah, that original sound is, but it's today's technology. They done their version.
Dave, you were talking about the music, and we got this thing on screen. Is this? Have you got a clip of this?
Yeah, I got a little something that we can listen to.
All right.
Hopefully it won't be.
Vinyl stuff, you're right, man. Butch is all about some Transformers, man. Butch is a Transformer bad man. Real talk.
So this is from the film, yeah?
Yes, indeed. This is one of the more familiar ones. This is something that was made specifically for the film.
Okay.
Produced by Toby as well.
Okay.
It's called On My Soul. It's played for you here on the Real Soundcheck podcast.
On my soul, everybody in the click strap, and they all on gold. Keep a stick just like Branch Poppy, but I ain't a troll. On my mama, can't nobody out here play me for no hoe. Guard your grill. Ain't nobody out here hard to kill. The gat I pack a black and peel your cat from front to back. Hey, stiff or hard to steal. Tuna fish, my hardest meal. Stay trip when they switch to harder skill. I'm gonna feel like a buffalo bill with a bubble coat filled with a couple of the post chill. Switch it up, get that red, black and white.
And it features Jacob Banks. It's also a verse by Nas as well.
This must be the most modern tune on the whole film, the whole soundtrack.
Precisely, yeah. It's specifically made for the film. Everything else seems to be like an old track that they've put on there, but the director, or whoever's directing the music, they know their music, they know their hip hop.
Most def.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys dash off YouTube.
Before we get a copyright.
That's why I tried to chat a bit.
Yeah. Big up, man. Thanks for that, Dave. So next up, what do we have? We have...
Wait. Can I just ask Dave one question? Sorry. Dave, you cannot remember the suit at the end with the guy, and then he gets given the thing, and then he looks at it, and you're like, but isn't that... And how come it's linked to... Yes, you just remembered now, innit?
No, I can't remember the full thing.
Oh, you can't remember? Oh, God!
Oh, man. I'm going to have to go watch it again.
It's okay.
Yeah, man.
All right
then, man. Grown folks, what are you saying, sir?
Yes.
This I want to hear. This man's been killing this album.
Man, this album is bananas.
Yo, listen.
I can't give enough love to this album. So, native Washingtonian, Michelle Blackwell. This is her second album. Her first album was called Body of Work, and that came out in 2018, and that was a monster too. This one was just released. It's called Go-Go-ish. Now, what she's done with this album is phenomenal. And I don't use those kind of words about stuff unless it's like that.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I'm going to play a couple of tracks. So she's taken Go-Go and she's, I guess, kind of released it from the box that it's in and given it new life. So here's one track called, it's the initials for If You Know, You Know. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, and then I got a couple other tracks I'm going to give you a little sample of. So here we go. Michelle Blackwell, and it's Go-Go-ish here on the Real Soundcheck.
Oh, she's in the chat.
She's in the chat, mate.
She's in the chat.
What?
You think you're slick?
Y'all ain't ready for this.
Behave yourself. Play the tune, man. Welcome to you, Star.
You are not ready for this.
Listen,
behave yourself.
I tell you what, I wasn't ready for this when you played this I think it was last week on your live stream. I was not ready. I was not ready. You dropped one of her tunes, and then you dropped a remix.
Yes, that's coming. That's coming. So let's get back into this.
All right. I'm still
Wow. Vinyl Sophie says the bottom lip is already out.
At this point, just glad that I'm free to do it. At this point, it's gonna be me that has to do it.
Big up, Shell.
I wish I had assistance, but alas, I'm alone and I can't. So I
The ones are coming in. The ones are coming in.
Yo, listen.
here with me. Let the sensations take control of me.
Come again, man. Come again. Oh, Lord.
The sounds of Michelle Blackwell. What?
We're prepared to run the risk of getting kicked off YouTube. We're prepared to run that risk.
Ones and fire emojis.
It's jumping off.
At this point, just glad that I'm free to do it. At this point, it's gonna be me that has to do it. I wish I had assistance, but alas, I'm alone and I can't. So I let my imagination pull you up in here with me. Let the sensations take control of me. But before I begin, let me breathe in and say, at this point, I wish I was there.
Man, I could play the whole
straight fire.
Yo, we need some bomb sound effects, man.
Next thing.
Great stink face activation.
Heavy.
What's the next tune? Give me the next tune there.
Okay. Okay. I got you, Butch. I got you. So this one.
Come man.
So this one, I just love this. And like Trop was saying, there's a remix to this as well. So I'm going to play some of this and then I'll throw in the remix. But this is another... If this song doesn't do well in the UK...
Better my life. And I feel like personally, we need to stop using the word racism when we don't get something.
Oh man, this tune.
No
disrespect, but racism exists, and I have to acknowledge it. I can't just ignore it, but what I can do is not buy into the system.
Something should never even have happened. Something should never even be spoken. You say your piece and I'll say mine. You tell your truth and I'll tell mine.
I mean, that's the brand of the slave owner that put that name on my family all those years ago, and I'm still wearing it.
This place is not an oasis. They're smiling, but they have two faces. The races are rigged for the races. Few make it, but most are in stasis. This place we go home, they be wildin'. And they sold their souls to be styling. Which is how we ended up here in the first place back then. And now we back here again, where all the hatred began. If all the right in their plan, judging your fellow black man as if we're no good or bad. Why you not reach out your hand? Oh, when you come to this land, so we can link up out of all the things they did. Hurt me nothing, we just how it was.
Too much. It's too much.
And I know
it's too much.
That is just the bomb. But check
it's unnecessarily
this out.
tough, man.
And then the remix as well.
Then the remix. Now, please hold on to the bar. That's all I got to say.
something should never even have happened.
No.
Go on, send me the acapella, Mackay. Give it. You had a remix till I remix your tune.
Something should never even be spoken. Say your piece and I'll
So look, y'all got to get out, spend your nickels and your dimes, and get this new album by Michelle Blackwell.
Tell me this is on Bandcamp.
Ish.
Tell me this is on Bandcamp.
Michelle, is it on Bandcamp?
Because Bandcamp, you know, Bandcamp is our place of choice to get music because you know, we can download it in whatever format or quality we want, and also more of the money goes to the artist.
Absolutely.
So that's why we prefer Bandcamp. So I'm really hoping this is on Bandcamp. But if not, just let us know where we can get it because I need that in my life tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, this album has saved summer for me. It's
wow.
It's different. It's different.
Okay.
It's different.
It is, man. It is.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, so you'll check. So it's streaming on all platforms. What you'll check whether or not it's on Bandcamp, I believe.
Okay.
Wiki, please do that. Please do that, man.
Please,
That's
please,
amazing.
please, because I need to. I don't deal with streaming. And if I'm playing out, I want to go and play that in the clubs. You know what I mean? I want to go and play that where I'm playing. So I need to own that. So yeah, I need somewhere where I can buy that, purchase that. You know what I mean?
I picked mine up from, of course, iTunes. I wish I could have gotten it from Bandcamp, but
hey,
I had to get it from iTunes. I couldn't wait.
I'll take it from wherever I can get it. I'll take it from wherever I can get it. As long as I got it, I'll take it.
And just remind everyone of the name of that track again.
So that track was called "Do You Know," and there's a regular version, and then there's the remix. And the first track was called "IYKYK." So if you know, you know.
That's the banger.
Dope.
Yeah, man.
Well, the whole album is bangers. We just ain't got time to play the whole thing because I could play every track on the album. It's just that good.
Do you know what? It's a phenomenal album. Just from what I heard you play of it last week, I was just those were the tracks that stood out in my head last week from your streams.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Of course, you went into some ridiculously murderous slow jams. You so disrespectful with the slow jams, so disrespectful. But those tracks and that remix, those last two in particular that you played, really stood out in my head. I'm like, this is like, you're right. This felt like this is the tunes for the summer. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
this is the barbecue.
And it reminds me of this whole conversation, which I'm sure we're going to come to on another episode, about the music industry coming after platforms like Twitch now because of copyright issues, and they want their money because we're playing music, you know. And there's this whole other side to this debate, for want of a better word, whereby if it wasn't for people like you or like us playing music like this, we wouldn't even necessarily know to go and buy. Do you know what I mean? We're going to buy. We're not looking to get. We're not looking to inbox. I don't want you to inbox me. We're looking to go and buy this music, buy the artist's music, support the artist's music. If we weren't doing this here, we wouldn't do that. But now, you know, the music industry is coming after Twitch to shut us down. If you're not paying us, if we're not getting our cut, you're not playing any music on the platform. Then what happens to artists and albums like this? Yeah. If we're not playing them, do you know what I mean? So I'm sure we'll come back to this. Let me come off my soapbox. I'm sure we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this another day.
It sounds like Vinyl Sofa has partly arranged a PA for One Nation for you by Shell Blackwell.
Listen, if Shell Blackwell I would love to have Shell Blackwell on my stage at One Nation. We have an artist flying in from New York this week who's going to be doing a live PA at One Nation this Friday. I would love to have Shell Blackwell fly in as well and grace our stage at One Nation in Brixton. Shell, if you are interested, holla.
Interested in an interview.
I would love to do this. Love to do that. Oh Lord!
And as a matter of fact, I will be interviewing Michelle Blackwell soon in the near future. We are going to solidify a date on that soon, and you can catch an interview with Michelle Blackwell and get a lot of information about how she started. You know, everything we can talk about.
Fantastic. There's lots of opportunities over here, and you know, people over here would love this. They would love this.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah, man, most def.
Yeah, the comments are flying in.
Yep, the love is there, man. The love is there because
real.
the music is real. Music is
Absolutely.
beautiful. It's real.
It is.
Yeah, man.
And it's got a message. It's not just hoopty boopty boopty boop.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
The lyrics
yeah.
are real.
What was that?
Hoopity boopty boopity boop.
It's none of that.
Yeah, salute, Shelf. Salute, Michelle.
Big
Salute.
up, Shell. Big up, man.
Salute.
Big up.
Salute.
Still scrolling down here. So what we got next?
Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
one more thing.
Right. So so this is a movie that I saw the other day. I was at home, not going to other places.
Driving past good shit.
Yeah. So this is called Run, Rabbit, Run. And this is about a single mother who gets more and more unsettled by her daughter's claims to have memories of a past life. And it just goes from one thing to another. And she starts off, the daughter starts talking about things that happened in the past that she wouldn't have any knowledge of. And from that point, it just starts to get more and more complicated and more weird. So it's kind of a supernatural type thing, kind of, sort of, but it's got a little bit of a twist to it. I don't want to give too much away because it's recently come out and saw Netflix, so people can still go and see it. But I think it's worth worth checking it out. I'd give it about 7.5, going on 8, and that's only because there were a couple of things in the movie that they could have done a little better. But it was a good little watch. It's called Run, Rabbit, Run on Netflix.
What'd you give it? Marks out of 10. What'd you give it?
7.5.
All right, cool.
Yeah, going on 8.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Salute.
Nice. Well, we have another one. Indiana Jones.
So
Blam.
I actually did go out to see this. So went to.
You actually came out your house.
I actually came out of my house and I went to see this. Me and Kamzy 101. So I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, but this is again one of those things. You know, how many Indiana Jones films can you make? And he's going on 103 years old, and it was interesting. I think the way that I would describe it as one big chase scene, which is pretty much what Indiana Jones is anyway. But it was pretty cool. You know, if you're into the franchise.
Yeah, click for.
I was trying to do something for. I was responding to messaging the. Anyway, I was trying to do something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if you're into the Indiana Jones franchise, you won't be disappointed. Check it out. And it's got a cute little ending to it. And this is like the end of, I guess his performances as Indiana Jones. And it was a little bit of some time travel going on there, and they kind of worked that out, and it was interesting. So if you get a chance, it's worth checking out. It's another solid 7.5.
To me, my question would be, how does this compare to the originals? Say the first two. How does this compare to those two films?
Those stand on their own merit. This is not.
This is anywhere near that.
This is nowhere near that. I mean, he's not that guy anymore. You know.
No.
I was surprised that Shia wasn't continuing. I thought that's what they were doing. They introduced Shia as the son, and I thought maybe the son was going to take over and do some stuff. But
yeah,
gone ahead.
Everyone thought that.
Yeah. What was his guy's name? Shia DeBeouf or something? LaBeouf. The beef. Yeah.
Do it.
Just
do it.
Yeah. So 7.5, did he say?
7.5.
7.5.
I think that's enough to make me give it a looking, because I've been wanting to. Yeah, man. I've been wanting to watch this. I was hoping that you were going to say this was decent, because I'm actually looking forward to watching it. So
yeah,
I'll take that.
It's in the same vein as the other stories. One long chase scene.
I'm looking at Shell Blackwell's comment. Harrison running around at his tall age. His tall age, ain't it?
Tall age, tall age. Wow. Tall. Man's age is tall, That's
the first time I've heard someone's age described as tall.
Man's age is tall. So is he age long? Wow.
His tall age,
His age is tall. My word.
And it's not a whole lot of him running around. Believe that.
Is it? It's like 3-4 yards, and then camera angle change.
If that, yeah.
I believe it's a Spielberg directed game, because Spielberg was the one who kind of brought the magic to the originals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Do we know who directed this one? Was it Spielberg?
It's me to know.
Fact check.
Me no know.
You just watch your thing, innit?
That's funny, man.
I was lucky to be out of my house. Now you ask.
I'm asking too much. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. I don't know, man.
Now you're just being hurtful.
You get me?
Well, 7.5 out of 10 is a decent.
7.5 is worth it.
I'm sure we can get a fact check.
Has anyone watched the sort of rip-off version, I should say, in quote unquote, called Jack Hunter?
Hunter? No.
Okay.
Jack Hunter, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's literally it was like just a rip-off of Indiana Jones, but you should be able to find him on YouTube.
Is it terrible? Is it terrible?
Is one of them good and terrible? Good and terrible.
Yeah. It's that bad. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta watch those films, though. To be fair, you know what I mean?
Good evening to Dead Bob, who's just entered the chat. Good evening, Dead Bob.
Dead Bob in the building. What's happening, sir?
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
Good,
Welcome in. The next one's from me. This is a film I was looking forward to for a long time, having seen the first one with my girls. I'm a big sort of superhero film fan and a big sort of comic book fan. And I think this film encapsulates that genre. Probably one of the best interpretations of that kind of style of film, of superhero, of comic, the artwork, just the kind of magnitude of the whole film. It's absolutely incredible. And the artwork's incredible as well. That's why these two films were certified by it's like a comic book certification. So like the actual style of the artwork was on par with what you'd actually have in a proper comic. And you can tell it's amazing. So this is like the second part of the Spider-Man Spider-Verse story. It's not Spider-Man's a Marvel character, but it's not a Marvel film. It's a Sony film. And yeah, it's there's not much I can say about it really, man. It's a continuation of the story of Morales going through and growing into the sort of Spider-Man suit, becoming more adept and more skillful at using the suit, and then him sort of getting back into this sort of the sort of cross connection with the different universes of all the different Spider-Men. They have like it's kind of like the Avengers, but all with different Spider-Men from different worlds. And yeah, I won't do the story justice, but it's at an epic scale. It's an amazing film. If you like anything to do with superheroes or comic books, and watch it with your kids, watch it with adults, it crosses all genres. Trust me, man. I rate this film, and I will say it is a strong 10, no question.
10.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a shot.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
beautiful
I'll say that with my chest.
I wouldn't give it a 10.
10.
I wouldn't give it a 10.
I love it, man. I love it.
I'll give it a 10.
So again, this is another one of those films like the Transformers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You can't put this with Transformers. You mad guy.
Look, can I talk?
No.
Can I talk?
Let him get it out. Let him get it out.
Like Transformers, I tried a couple of times to watch it, and I haven't got to the end of this.
You got dropsy, man. You got dropsy.
Maybe so, or maybe I just work. But I felt that.
What's that mean?
What me?
I felt that the story was too complicated, and it felt to me like they were trying to outdo the first one. Like just throw everything at this to outdo the first one. And for me, it felt like it was too much. What I did appreciate was, like you said, the artwork and the style of the animation, because I'm a massive animation fan. Animation fan. So I can appreciate the style of the animation and the artwork. Definitely was all over that. But Yeah, I don't. It's hard for me to kind of talk too much because I don't want to give out spoilers. But
Yeah.
I felt it
Well,
was.
I understand what you're saying about the complexity of the thing, of the
Yeah.
the kind of the story of the whole thing.
But that's the whole point of it.
That's the point of it. Yeah,
he's
exactly.
actually gone into the Spider-Verse and is being taken where it's taking him, and he has to work out.
Get that, but there were levels. There were things in the thing. I don't want to. I'm trying not to talk, but there was some things they threw in there that was just foolishness to me. Like
it's cartoon, bro.
You
can
say one. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Go on.
Because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it.
Give it for instance. Give us an example.
Yeah, just give us one example.
You see on the okay, so you can see on the poster there's lots of different spider people.
We got people.
Yeah. There were just foolishness in terms of spider people and spider things, spider animals and spider everything and anything. And so it just got a bit, it was like anything was spider, and it just got a bit. There was a spider. I don't want to talk. It was too much for me.
But that was the whole point of going into the Spider-Verse.
Fair enough, but for me, it was too much. As a film, it was too much. You know, it felt like they're trying to go all over the place here with this thing. You know what I mean? So
you're probably commenting on the reality of it.
Yeah. That's what it is. I like that phrase. See, this guy's eloquence is so. I gotta learn.
It's true. Obi-Wan. Because I mean, this film sort of trying to sort of ground this in any sort of reality or real life. There's no point. You can't. You've just got to take it for what it is. And I think
it's a
the overriding story. Yeah, the overriding story of it is kind of this guy coming of age and getting to understand and learn that he has the powers to overcome things. Do you know what I mean? And he's kind of growing as the film's going on. And this second part is actually, it's a two-parter as well. So there's another episode coming.
But then he's also realizing that he's not alone. If you understand, even though he's trying to learn about all of these new powers, and he thinks, "Woe is me! It's only me."
He knew that from the first one because he met them in the first one.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is the scale of it. And then the actual, without saying it, but the actual solidification of the what's the word? What word can I use to cover it? No. The business of it. There we go. That's cryptid. Like the actual business. You know, when he actually went there and was like, wait a minute, this is a business. Yeah, that bit, I think he then changed his thing, because then he realized that there is a mission and there's things that we are doing out here. So, but anyway, that was thing.
Yeah, again, I stand by my certification.
It's a high 8,
man.
It's
a straight 10. It's a straight 10 for me.
It's a definite high 8.
High 8. That's cool. I can understand.
The only reason why I'm giving it 8 is because I've heard there's different versions out there.
What different versions of this film?
Apparently, out there is different versions of this film. There's supposed to be 2 versions with different changes. Now, I've seen one. I'm trying to find the other one, and it's subtle changes, because I think like he takes a different direction, but then it comes back round.
Maybe one that was not released. So
no. As in, his choice takes him a different path.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but then if that's not the official one, then maybe there was a script change and it was rewritten, and now what we've seen is the official release, and maybe this was the one that got cut. This was the version they chose not to do.
Let me explain again. They know that there's 2 versions out there, because you're meant to go into the verse and realize that it can take you one way if you watch it, and it can go the same way but through a different route. There's 2 versions of the same film, not a mistake and something else. They've put out 2 versions of the film.
All right.
You can Google it. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. When you get geeky on it, this is the realism of it.
I thought you might have been referring to, well, I think it's been banned in a couple countries. I noticed a message in the film the first time I tried to watch it, and maybe I can't mention it here, but some people may notice it, you know, but yeah.
Laney, you're done though. You're done though. No, you're done.
She is confusion.
Yeah, man.
Oh, don't be confused.
No, I loved it. I loved it. It's worth a watch, most definitely. Do you know what I mean? With your kids or along with your crew, I would recommend it. Or even if you know what I mean, if you're not so much into that sort of genre of film, wait till it comes to DVD or Blu-ray and come and catch it, man. But it's a dope film.
Justice loved it. Justice said it was dope.
Yeah,
it was dope.
Yeah, the second quick one is another one on Netflix. I'm not sure if you've spoken about this one before, but I thought it was worth a mention.
But I don't mind talking about it again.
Yeah, as a man who loves action films, I think this film here, visually how the action was shot, was very impressive. Very impressive. You know what I mean? Some of the action was a bit, you know what I mean, a bit sketchy. I mean, like someone was saying earlier about the guy hiding behind a step ladder. You know what I mean? When someone's busting shots at him. But visually, amazing.
I was curious to see if this film was going to be anywhere near as good as Extraction 1. And it was a resounding yes.
Yeah.
A resounding yes. I was so impressed that how good this film was, because Extraction 1 was, I loved Extraction 1. I thought it was brilliant. And so for this to match and even, depending on your perspective, exceed Extraction 1 was a major achievement as far as I'm concerned. Amazing. Amazing.
I think the sort of choreography of some of the fight scenes was incredible. The one fight scene, the sort of prolonged fight scene coming out of the prison was wicked, and just visually how it was how everything was shot was mad, absolutely mad. How they it probably wasn't a single take, but how it was shot in as if it was a single take, sort of going through and the camera's going around him and he's just picking people off and coming. You know what I mean? Wicked, absolutely wicked, man. It made you feel as if you was in the scene, sort of watching everything going on around you. You know what I mean? How it was shot, dope, very dope, very dope.
The camera
indeed.
work I gave like 19 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful experience to just the way that the camera just moves, and you know, behind the scenes would be great to see if they ever release it. It's just an amazing visual experience. There's only one other film, because there's a couple of films which have one take scenes in it. One of them was Tony Jaa in
The Raid.
Not The Raid.
No, On Back.
Yes.
Oh God!
Realized that was like a one take. I was like, oh, wow. And then there was a film. The whole film was one take.
Oh yes,
that was that World War One, wasn't it?
No, it was
a boy, a girl, a dream.
People, Shell Black was saying later. Salute.
Oh,
Shell.
bye.
Rest up.
Yo, thanks for passing through. Rest up.
So much. Thank you so much.
Dave, was it a film about a guy trying to get his memory back?
No, there might be.
And then it went up into what's it called, dirigible balloon thing, and then he got it, and then he had to come back down. And no, it's not that one.
I don't think so. No, that's not the one that I was
Jesus, watching
referring
Extraction 2 right now.
Yes, Diesel.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Big up. Yeah. Now, Dave was just talking about this other film shot in one take.
The whole film was done in one take. A Boy, a Girl, a Dream, and stars Mari Hardwick and my ex-screen wife. Megan Good.
Who's that?
Halle Berry.
Who's that?
Megan Good.
All right. Yo, there's another one actually. There's was it 1917?
1939 or 19 something, 19.
It was the First World War. Yeah, the First World War. They shot that all in one take.
Oh yes,
It
with the
wasn't
thing that
actually
it was
in one.
running. Yes, the way that they did it is in one take. Yes,
It wasn't actually one take. They showed how they did it, kind of piecing it together, but how it was put together, it was as if it was one take. So it's kind of like you're there alongside them when all these things are happening.
Silver said it's 1917.
1917.
Yeah.
I can't remember, it's 17, 18, 19, 17.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you, Vinyl. I mean that sort of style of camera work, it really puts you in the mix of the action. And when you've got like an action high octane thing like Extraction or World War, big sort of trench warfare going on, and then the camera's moving through when things are going off around you and you're moving through the explosion. It is mad, mate. You're watching that on the big screen. That's how cinema's supposed to be. It's supposed to take
Brilliant bit of cinema. Brilliant.
Amazing. So I would say my score for Extraction, since you've spoken about it before, my score for Extraction would be, I'd say 8.5. I would say 8.5.
I'd agree fully with that. I'd agree fully with that. Yes.
Yeah. Tough film. Tough film.
Absolutely.
And it's I think it's amazing as well the kind of films that Netflix are coming out with, man. Do you know what I mean? Because that could easily do well at the cinema. It's that sort of level of quality. You know, to have that on Netflix, it's brilliant, mate. It's really.
To be honest, I'm grateful that it's on an accessible platform like that
and easy to get. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched The Mother? Did I talk about that last time with what's her name?
No, what's that?
It's on Netflix. Jennifer Lopez.
No.
Oh, I have seen. I haven't watched it yet. No, that's on my list. On my list.
See that. Yeah, I saw it.
What did you think about it?
It was okay.
I thought it was okay. I thought to me that's her best acting. Like,
which is
I'm gonna be honest.
It's still okay.
I recommend it. I think it's a good film. I've definitely seen that six. The Mother. Yeah. Out of Jennifer Lopez films, it's a strong 6.5, 7.
Basic storyline without spoiler.
Basic storyline without spoiler. She is some bad girl assassin, whatever, and then her child is in trouble, and she has to go look after her child, but not used to doing such things, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. She put her child somewhere safe because of who she was, and then kind of went south, and she had to step back in and become
just when I try and get out, they pull me back in.
It
type film, it's that type film, but just J-Lo does all right, man. She does all right.
But I'll give that a look in as well. The Mother.
Yeah, a series I started watching on Netflix as well, worth a mention, is called Kaleidoscope. Has anybody come across that? It's
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet. What's it saying?
It's like a heist series. So it's basically each episode. So depending on whoever watches it, you'll watch it in a different order. So each episode hasn't got a number; it's got a color. So when you start to watch,
I was meant to watch that.
Yeah, when you start watching it, you'll watch each episode in a different order. So each episode's like, this is like 4 years before the heist. This is 20 years before the heist. This is 2 weeks before the heist. So each episode is kind of like a different timeline before or after the heist. You know what I mean? So you'll watch it all in a different order. So you'll get like different information as to Wagwan as you watch it. Yeah, it's quite interesting, man. It's nicely done. It's very nicely done.
Okay.
Worth a watch.
I'm gonna have to finish watching that. Yeah.
Kaleidoscope.
We need to start talking about all this stuff, man, because I ain't gonna get no work done over these next couple of weeks.
This is the wind down. This is the wind down after work, man. You gotta like.
That's it, man. You gotta
separate it.
No, but I can't. This is why I don't watch series anymore, because I can't separate them. Once I start, I'm just like back to back to back.
It's like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Can't stop. I can't stop until it's done. So I don't do series anymore.
So then you haven't watched The Boys?
Yeah,
I have watched The Boys. Not Don't tell me there's not a new season.
New series coming, mate. Series 4 coming.
The Boys?
Yeah, The Boys.
Stop it.
I'm not sure. It's coming soon on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yo,
This is the trailer for it.
You know what? I hear is coming. Ip Man 5.
What?
Ip Man 5. Apparently, Donnie Yen put out a poster with a poster for Ip Man 5. I heard he wasn't playing that again, but
yeah, because there's a remake of Ip Man out available on Netflix as well, like a revamp.
Yes, there is. Yeah. But there was a poster come out about Ip Man 5, man. That just like got my blood racing.
It's a quick one for you from the Diva Speaks, man. Have you watched Warrior? The series Warrior.
Is directing.
The series called Warrior. Yeah, it's based on writings from Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing series, man. It's on
The series and
yeah.
Yes. Oh
It's
my
like,
god!
It's like set in turn of the century.
Yeah,
America.
old school. Yeah, they
Yeah.
got the old thing and the wooden shacks and everything.
What is
but
this on? Is this a Netflix?
Yes, I watched
No,
it.
it's not Netflix. It's on. I'm not sure what it's on. Is it HBO? Jadiva?
Was it HBO?
I got it on the Banduli thing, but it's I'll stream it on Fridays, man. So
Yeah,
amazing.
man. Warrior is hard.
Amazing.
Warrior
Fight
is
scenes in
hard.
it are mad.
Later on, bro. Go save your marriage. Don't stay here.
Yeah, man.
We're
For real, man.
We're not worth it. We're not worth it.
Wow. You lot.
Yeah, no, when she says it's okay, don't
Go
believe it, man.
save your marriage.
Protect your marriage, bro. Get out of
Play
here.
with your little friends on
Get
your
outta
little
here.
funky podcast.
Drop and roll. Get
out of here.
HBO.
It's a
Yes.
trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap. No, Diesel, no.
You don't need Jesus, I swear.
Go ahead and hang out with your little friends and your little funky podcast.
Oh Lord, have mercy. All right, time is running. Time is running, man. So, shall we? Have we done all the films that we wanted and series that we wanted to cover today?
I think that's everything, man. Yeah, man.
I
I
was
was
just looking. I swear there's one more, but it's all right. If it pops in my head.
All right, cool. Let's move.
I'm Carl McIntosh from Loose Ends, and you are watching the Real Soundcheck podcast.
Boom.
Yes, sir.
Respect, Tech. Thank you for taking us through all of that. I noticed you're doing like a little Dave Knight flex over there with the dark lightning thing, bro. We can barely
Who,
see
me?
you. What's going on?
Well, I thought it's good enough for Dave. It's good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go work on the vocals, so you know what I mean.
That sound like it hurt, bruv. Careful, man.
I nearly drew blood.
We should do a dark mode episode. Everybody go in the shadows.
Oh,
And-
please.
In it.
Shinobi.
See whose camera's really rocking. Oh, really?
What's really going on?
What's happening there?
Listen, get up and switch off the room light. I can't get.
That's it. I can't get no darker than this. This is just screen lights on, man.
This is the
Yeah, Bear Yai.
Hold on. Oh, here we go.
You lot so stupid. Anyway, we move on. So over to something a little bit more serious now that has been that's caught our attention in the news. I'm sure you've seen and heard about what's been happening over in France. On the news all the time, writing and what have you, is all we're hearing about in France right now, which was triggered by another police killing of a young teenager, 17-year-old Nahal M. He's been referred to, was shot and killed after a police traffic stop in Paris. Now, the whole thing was filmed. And so, it's been put out there to the world and everybody's seen it. Interesting that President Macron came right out the same day and said that the killing was, I believe, he said it was indefensible, which is pretty damning from the president of the country to come out and say that against the police like the same day. And as a result, the French youths, they don't play. When you ramp with one of them, when the authorities or the police ramp with one of them, they do not ramp. So France has been burning like every night for however long now. I think Nahal's funeral was today, in fact. But yeah, so it's been all over the news and it got us, we thought it was worth a conversation. We don't always like to deal with what's on the news like that, but we thought it was worth a conversation. So, fellas, how are we feeling about this situation here and what we're seeing over in France?
It's sad to hear a young man's lost his life for seemingly no reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the thing is, like, you know what I mean, in the back of your mind you can sort of think, well, it's not going to be the last person either, whether that's France or here. I mean, I don't know all the details, so I won't really comment on that, but yeah, I mean, the whole sort of rioting thing that France do, they do retaliate when they feel wrong. Not that I'm sort of condoning rioting, but protest of some description when people are being wrong, so they don't, you know what I mean, the authorities know that they can't just, like, you know what I mean, roll over people. I think is a good look. How they're doing it, maybe no, but because at the end of the day, they're burning down their own areas, man.
Do you feel, when you said this is it's really sad? What is it about this that makes it so sad for you? Is it the age? Is it his age, or is it the fact that it was at the hands of the police, or is it the circumstances around it that it was seemingly needless because it was just from a traffic stop? What is it about this that makes it so bad for you?
The needlessness of it, really. The fact that the guy is a young man. It could be an old person, but someone's lost their life for what seems no reason at all. You know what I mean? Someone's been shot by the police for no reason. And when you look at it, when you look at that storyline, that could be absolutely anybody. It could be you. It could be one of your relatives. Put in that same situation, and then you got some rogue policeman busting off shots. You know, so that's the scary part of it, where you sort of put yourself in that person's shoes and say, well, that was just so random. It was so unlawful that could actually happen to anybody. You know, that's the scary thing about it to me, and that's the most worrying thing to me, I think.
Okay, these kind of
the
shootings.
Thing with this.
Go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the thing with this was just that's the first I'm aware that the actual French police are armed in that way, because there seems to be something that, you know, I've not really heard anything in the news about French police shooting anyone before.
Let me fact check that.
Recall. Yeah, I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I just don't recall it being a thing in this way that, you know, to get that kind of reaction.
It's interesting you say that, because I met up with a friend of mine from France recently, and who's born and raised there, lives here now, and she was saying that Paris and France is a police state. She said she actually absolutely believes it is a police state, based on how life is there and how the police operate. You know. I wonder, third fatal traffic stop this year and 13 last year. Thank you for that, Dead Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you. According to the Guardian, he's added.
Yeah, they are armed, apparently, French police.
And maybe that's a direct correlation with why we see more deaths, because they're walking around with weapons and can just do that.
Yeah. Because it's sometimes at the end of the day, you would think it's two egos against each other. I need you to do what I say. You didn't do what I say. My only way to kind of gain dominance is to pull this and then
draw the trump card straight away.
Right.
Yeah.
That's America all over. When you're not obeying me, you're not obeying what I'm saying. You're not doing what I say. What makes me sad about this is there's no way that policeman could have felt that his life was in danger and needed to shoot him.
No, he was driving away. He was driving away from him. So, as I said, the whole thing was filmed, and I've seen the film of it. So, they had the gun pointing into the car, and it was so close. The gun must have almost like been at his chest, because if you imagine you're sitting in the driver's seat of your car, and the officer has their hand in the weapon in the car window. I mean, that means the gun must be almost in your chest if it's through the car, through the window.
Yeah.
Right. So he starts to drive off, and as very slowly, he didn't race off, just very, very slowly starts to drive off, and just one pop and just shoots him right there. So no, there was no way there was no weapon involved other than the one that the police used. The man didn't race off. The youth didn't race off or anything like that. Was just driving off real slow, and he just shot. There was no risk to the officer's life.
So
No risk.
the police officer could have shot the tires, couldn't he?
Exactly. The car was moving so slowly.
He could have gotten the
he
car
could have
and chased him.
Well, that too, but he was moving so slowly that the obvious thing would have been to do was just to shoot the tires if you need to do that, because the guy was the youth was driving off so slow. You know, there was no risk to the officer's life, no need for it. I guess in the interest of fairness and objectivity, we should state that the officer has issued an apology, which is more than you usually get over here. Listen, you don't even get that over here, mate.
Yeah,
you
true.
don't even get an apology. So at least that was more than the Met would do. The Met
No, but I
never
think he
apologized.
apologized to the wrong person, though. I don't think he apologized to the family.
Who did he
I think
apologize?
That's part of the problem. His apology wasn't appropriate.
Okay.
Part of the problem too.
Who was the? Can you elaborate on that?
I can't remember all of the facts. I'm sure somebody in the chat will have it. But he apologized. But I don't believe he apologized to the family. He apologized in the wrong kind of way.
Okay.
I'm wondering how long it was before the apology came out.
It was
After
quick.
the actions. Okay.
It was quick. It was, listen, like I said, over in this country, we don't get apologies from the Met. We do not get, the Met have to be dragged kicking and screaming to even entertain the idea of apology. There had to be, you had to have reports written, damning reports saying institutional racism before they would even acknowledge there is a problem, much less apologize. Do you know what I mean?
It's almost the same kind of approach where you have a crash and you say you don't apologize, you just take down the facts and let the insurance companies deal with who was to blame and stuff. It's almost like they're trying to protect themselves, which
I think it's an insurance claim.
Exactly. Exactly. So until it's all proven and everything's come out, that's maybe when they say, okay, we'll issue an apology.
And the interesting thing about that, Dave, is that while I understand the logic of that from the police's point of view, on the flip side of this is what adds to the tension between the police and the communities like ours that they are supposed to be serving, and tend to over police, because there isn't that level of accountability for one, and I don't think there is really any sense of justice for two. I don't know how anyone can look on this situation and believe that this is just, and just that lack of ownership, man. Do you know what I mean? When you mess up, just say you messed up. My bad. I'm sorry. We got it wrong. And I think things would actually wouldn't be so tense all the time if there was more of that. But because they have this default of, it's like you're pissing on my back and you expect me to call it rain kind of thing. That do you know what I mean? It's just you taking liberties basically and just taking people for fools. And I think it just adds to the tension. And that's why we kind of have that more over in Paris. Dead Bob said, did anything come of that guy shot in his car earlier this year in London? I'm not even sure which guy that is now, Dead Bob, and that's a really bad situation because I don't even know which one that is. Do you know what I mean?
That's an indictment right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even know which one that is, and that says a lot. That actually does say a lot. Vinyl Sulfur says, campaigner Rokhaya Diallo told BFM TV that more shots fired meant a higher risk of being hit, especially for people of color. Reuters news agency found that a majority of victims of lethal police shootings during traffic stops since 2017 were black or Arab. Vinyl Sulfur, I don't even think we need Reuters for that to tell us that.
Yeah.
We can tell Reuters that. Reuters don't tell us. We tell Reuters that. But yeah, obviously that's the case. Dead Bob says, sorry, he was shot in September last year and they're still pushing for an inquest. Here we go. You know what I mean? So in this country, it just seems like while there doesn't seem to be as many killings, the accountability is even less than in France. You know what I mean? And maybe that's because. Do you think that's because we don't riot every time there is one of these? Do you think things would be different if there was a riot every time the police did this in this country?
Maybe.
Possibly. The reaction is less, so therefore they may feel they've got more time to kind of, you know what I mean, go through their systems and their thought processes.
I guess
Weren't
minimize
there
the
some
change.
protests when we had the poll tax thing going on, and that's how they ended up getting rid of that?
Massive protest.
And that actually did something.
Yeah,
didn't it?
Massive protest. Yeah, massive protest.
Maybe we need to do more protests. Maybe we need
Look
to
at the protest. Look at the protest that kicked off when
Mark Duggan.
The guys were looking at doing the Super League for football. Mate, they shut that down in about 48 hours, man. That's shut down quick.
Yeah.
Everybody mobilized.
Yeah.
Just because, Man United, Liverpool, Tottenham, and all those teams are going to go and play in Europe and not play in the Premier League. Someone's money is going to get affected, and all of a sudden that shit got locked down quick.
That is the key. The money got affected. It was the money.
It was a threat of the money being affected.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think this is the same with the poll tax. It was a money thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was hitting people's pockets and they weren't having it. You know what I mean? So, what does that say? The money is more important than life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Riot, man. It's I think at the end of the day, if the government that you're paying your taxes to and you're trying to adhere to and live with and so forth let you down, they must feel, man. They must feel somehow, some way. And if your citizens are gonna take negative on paper, action, then so be it. They're pushed to a limit.
My thing about
they're pushed to a limit, so the city's gonna have to take a beating. It's just.
I'm not gonna co-sign to that. Just my opinion. Protesting, I'm all for that. When you talk about rioting and causing damage, not a lot of good comes out of that. And I'll tell you
it's not meant
why.
to.
Because it usually starts in the neighborhoods that are affected.
Yep.
And that's where all of the damage happens.
Yep.
And they never really recover from that properly without at least 10 years going by. So rioting, not so much. Protesting, absolutely.
Do you think that protesting, because I guess protesting is usually it's a peaceful thing, it's non-destructive, it's normally talking. It can be disruptive.
Important. Being disruptive, making life difficult for other people or the people that are causing you the problem. That's where you start to get change.
So what's that, Dave?
The oil people are doing that.
Exactly.
With the the truckers, the truckers.
Yeah.
No, the ones who
they're gluing themselves to the streets.
What? Stop oil guys.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
What is that having the desired effect?
It's causing a nuisance.
In terms of bringing about the change that they're looking for?
Nope.
I don't.
I don't think it is.
It's not widespread enough. That's
it's
why.
Not. It's not about widespread. It's just like. I think it's. Oh, I hate saying this, but there's different levels of things that you can control, can't control, can protest. Like if all of the doctors and nurses came out of a hospital, the hospital's not going to function. If a couple people get together and want to lie in the road, the oil still moves around, everything still goes on.
So,
do you get what I'm saying? In the sense of the protest is who's protesting, who's actually doing it.
My thing is, it's not widespread enough. So if they got enough people and they went to the depots and kept those oil trucks from leaving, you'd see some change. But it's a niche group. They're not spread wide enough, and they can't cause enough disruption.
If you're talking tactically, if they disrupted, what they did was try and lay down on the M25. Get up.
Right. Yeah.
But what you said makes more sense. Go to the depots and don't let the tankers move.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Dead Bob's put up a very good point, which is they just passed new anti-protest laws.
Yes, they have.
You technically get arrested just on the suspicion that you might cause a nuisance.
Except for the oil people.
Right, but it seems like the government is making it much harder for people to lawfully protest, and so then going back to the point that Tech made about people feeling like I can't remember what you said, feeling like they're kind of backed into a corner kind of thing. So if you feel like you're kind of really pushed between a rock and a hard place, and you have no recourse. The government is making it so that you have no recourse, not even to even protest, as grown folks are suggesting. Then it's like there's only one way that's going to really go. You know what I mean? Because people are gonna that pressure's gonna keep building until there is that explosion, that volcano erupts, or whatever it is, there is an eruption of some sort, which normally ends up being some kind of social disorder. You know, I'm not sure how effective. I'm like grown folks. I'm kind of torn between this, because on the one hand, I don't like when that rioting and stuff happens in the area where, like you said, that's affected by the problem in the first place. If you're going to do it, go uptown and do that, or go to the.
That's what it always seems to be, and then it's always tainted with people looting and just robbing JDs. Do you know what I mean? People just looking new creps.
Not that I'm trying to. Not that I'm
and then
trying
that's
to
what you're seeing.
endorse,
That's what you're seeing, you know.
Not trying to endorse everybody going uptown or going to their local, Bobby or whatever, or station or whatever, and doing that. But I'm just saying, logically, it's like you staying in your own house and mashing up your own house. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, can you really get change without the stick? You know what I mean? Can you really get change without the stick? Can you really get the change you're looking for with just
I hear what you're saying about the change in the stick, and I hear everyone's personal views on it. But the police shot someone, so let's make the police work. So that's why, yes, they're in all the different ghettos, all the different places, everything else. Come out. Come on, police.
I don't understand. What do you mean, let them work and let them come out?
People, citizens, outnumber police.
What is this?
So if there's 15 different places that the police have to go, they haven't got enough people stretched out to be able to deal with every single thing. So that's why it's always in the different areas, so they have to go. Even if you look at the London one, it was Wood Green, then it was a different place, then it was a different place, to stretch out the numbers of the police to make them work, to make them get out, and then that way we have you out now. Like, you have to send 50 man here, 50 man here, but guess what? There's 300 of us here. We say,
you know what? But the thing is, it was our areas that were mash up.
No, mashing up.
Yeah, it was our areas that were mash up.
Yeah,
it's the wrong time.
Which to me doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
If it was
Brixton
not
was a mess.
fire, you know?
Throughout history, tell me when they've ever gone uptown. The Watts riots was in Watts.
I'm not saying historically that they haven't gone uptown. That's not even a debate, because we know that they don't. We know that people don't. That's the whole point. People mash up their own. It's their own area that ends up getting mashed up. So the people who are most affected, who are most already upset, traumatized, and already suffering, are making themselves suffer more.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's the easiest place for them to feel comfortable to draw the police out and get the police, which is what they want. I don't think it's the area is the top of the priority of the list.
I don't think this has nothing to do with getting the police out. If it was about getting the police out, you can still go wherever and get the police out. This just wasn't even. You're not even thinking, man. You're mashing up your own area. You got to come out.
As a matter of fact, if you want to get the police out and we get them out quickly,
go uptown. They'll come out quicker if you go uptown.
They'll get there before you get there.
You go to them nice fancy neighborhoods, you watch how quick the police come over there.
And the numbers that they bring.
The police will happily stand on the streets around here in Brixton and watch everybody mash up the area, mash up their own ends. You take that shit at Richmond, you take that shit to Wimbledon, you watch how quick the police come. You wouldn't even reach. You wouldn't even reach there before they stop you. Big roadblocks stopping you from even entering the area.
It's true, you know. It's true. And as far as that goes, the rioting in your own neighborhoods, I wouldn't feel happy.
Oh, wow.
They're rioting where I live, and all of a sudden my house burned up because they want to tear up something. So rioting,
this is genius.
Rioting is the answer.
This is genius from Shania. In Japan, the bus drivers didn't strike. Didn't strike by not going to work. They went to work and didn't charge the commuters, so they lost money. It's impacted the government, but not the everyday people. That's perfect.
There you go.
That is perfect.
Once again, it's money.
Money. That's how you affect change.
Hitting the money talks. Yeah, hitting the money talks.
100%.
So how would you hit the police's? There you go, Dave. Thinking the same thing. How would you do that with the police?
I sometimes wonder, and this is a very, very abstract idea, I know, but if we were to collectively put our money together and pay the police directly, would they become our bodyguards and not the government's?
They already are.
They're not
our money pays for their wages.
Yeah, but they're not accountable to us in the same way. They're not accountable to us. They're effectively a law unto themselves with their own investigative body, which is them just investigating themselves. There's nothing independent about the IPCC.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. But they still have the title of public servants.
The title? Yes, they have the title. That's all they have is the title. They don't have the actual...
Who are they protecting, though?
They don't have the actual... What's the word I'm looking for?
It's a dog with no teeth.
Yeah, it's not real. It is just literally just that. It's a title. It's a paper chain, a paper crown. It's a paper title. It doesn't mean anything.
Do the police have something similar to like what other public servants have to go through with like CQC, the Care Quality Commission, where they're assessed and judged based on performance and the processes that they have in place as to whether or not they're providing a good service? Do they have something similar to that?
They must have. They must have. They cannot.
I've not heard of anything, man. Because I mean, hospitals, schools, they'll got to jump through all sorts of hoops, man, just to flipping survive. So
do you know what? I think that, I think that generally speaking, I think generally speaking, the police are so corrupt, or there is such levels of corruption rife within the police in this country that even if those things were in place, they would just flout it. They have proven. I mean, it's even their own, even government reports have proven the levels of corruption that there are within the police force in this country. So I think even if those things existed, they would just flout it. They are very good at flouting the laws that they're meant to be enforcing. You know what I mean? They're very good at that. So I don't know how you effect change to that about that in this country or in France or anywhere else or in America for that change. I don't know how how do you hit the police's money, or how do you hit them where it hurts in a way that doesn't result in, you know, black communities or working class people's neighborhoods getting just destroyed. I don't think it's a case of stopping their money, because that's never going to happen. You know what I mean? When government comes in, especially the Tory government comes in, it's always, yeah, we need to put more police on the streets, need to police them more areas, and we need to increase stop and search and all that sort of stuff. So that just means more bobbies on the beat, more money to the police force, so on and so forth, rather than saying, right, okay, why is that area or why is that city got more problems? Well, we've taken away all the youth clubs, the kids haven't got anything to do, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? The police aren't trusted by the people who live in that area because they don't actually have that connection anymore. They just rock up in a car and start searching people. So it's kind of changing the whole mentality of how policing's done. You know what I mean? To try and build that trust, if that's even possible. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Good question, because I'm not sure if that is even possible, not in this country anyway. I'm not sure if that's possible. Maybe there is something in our communities, and when I say our, I mean by black communities or working class communities, doing more to police our own neighborhoods. Maybe there is something in that, but then again, at the same time, we pay our taxes, man. So we have a right to have proper policing, like everybody, like everywhere else. But if the police aren't doing it, there is something about reclaiming control of your area.
Well, could it be? I mean, the conspiracy theorist in me starts to tingle, where you start to think, well, is it a case of money generation, like over in the States where they have private prisons? So they have people who basically, G4S, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're paying to over police certain people or certain areas, certain demographics, black demographics, to put them into prisons, to fuel the prisons, to give money to the, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a whole industry of banging people up.
You see what you just mentioned? That switch is just getting ready to switch on. They finished the third Supermax private prison up north in the Midlands in the countryside. They finished it. They just for not long finished.
Where's that? Where? Midlands? You're talking Midlands. Where's that?
Oh, where is my shires are rubbish. I can't remember the shires. If you write Supermax private prison, they were going to use it as a hospital for COVID. It was actually one of the prisons that they were going to use for COVID. And one of the conspiracy theorists went up there and they said, if people go in there, you're going to let them back out. And he goes, oh, no, it's only going to be used as a hospital. It's not going to be used as a prison. It was on one of them, those Channel 4 late night documentary things. And you actually see this big Supermax private prison that they were going to use as a hospital. But they're already being built. The whole Supermax thing and the filling of it and everything is the next phase.
Northamptonshire, it's in Wellingborough.
Northampton, right, okay.
Wellingborough. Massive. The thing is maca. The thing is huge. Huge. No silly little thing. And
Belmarsh or something.
And it's gonna need filling. Let me tell you that now.
Long Lartin, Worcestershire. There's one there.
Yeah, I think there's 3 of them that were recently built in the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's a business. But how do you affect that money? That's the question.
Well, it's all sort of government policy that's driving it, isn't it? You know what I mean? If your government policy is to put more bobbies on the street and more stop and search, you're fueling that. You know what I mean? You've got no intention of stopping that. You know what I mean? How you stop that is by the people in those areas trying to come together and try to do it themselves, because the current government didn't give a ras.
Do you think? Do you think any government would change that? I mean, like if people got really radical and started voting for other parties that are not the big 3, do you think that would make a difference?
I don't know.
So
I haven't seen anything from.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Go on.
Do you think it would make a difference if it was another government that was in power, one that's not one of the big 3? So I'm basically suggesting is voting the solution, and I just throw that out there for voting any difference or just all same peas in the same pod.
Yeah, it's definitely
I didn't know that.
Yeah, NHS is going private. The max prisons are going to get filled. There's a whole new world and everything happening soon. So, and that since we're in hypothetical conspiracy mode, it's a reality that is happening. Those things are happening. Everyone's debating: is the NHS going to be sold? No, it's not. No, it isn't. No, it's not. It's going to be privatized. Get ready. I've got 2 £50 bets on it. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Dead Bob says. I've lost it now.
Hasn't stuff like this already happened?
I won't happen.
States?
Yeah, that one.
In terms of the prisons being filled with massive corruption between
Yes.
private prisons.
Yeah.
To fill them and keep them filled.
And he goes on to say it won't happen. I guess the solution, I guess he's referring to, won't happen unless we get some sort of proportional representation. Now, proportional representation, I'm interested to know proportional representation where? Within the police force, within the judiciary, within, the CPS? Where do we need proportional representation, or do we need it all across the board? Because it's hard. Maybe this is it's just gone 11 o'clock, so I think we're going to have to maybe continue this another time. Maybe it'll be good to actually speak to some police officers on this platform, either serving or past serving, to get their take on this, because I've always kind of wondered about. There was a time when I used to think I actually seriously considered joining the police force to try and be part of that, balancing out that proportional representation. I thought, if you're gonna be, you can't fix the problem on the outside. You got to fix it from the inside. So I actually seriously at one point considered joining the police force to try and bring about some positive change from the inside. I thought if there was someone like me in every police car, then more of these things would stop. Going just more to Dead Bob's point about representation, and I couldn't do it. Obviously, I went down a different route, and I chose to go and study and work with young people and work keeping them out of prison and out of harm's way and helping them in that way. you know. But
well done, mate.
It's something that is, you know, I think about quite a lot. How do we solve this problem? And I guess we're not gonna come up with the answer in this episode, but I think it's one that I think I'd like us to revisit, and maybe we get a guest on, like we had Richie Ranks on.
Right.
We get some. We get some. The views expressed by Butch Cassidy are do not in any way represent the views of the Real Soundcheck podcast. So yeah, maybe we continue this one another time. Anybody got anything else they wanna add before we bring this to a close? Because it's 5 minutes past 11 now.
Only thing I was going to say, just to confirm what Bob was saying about it happens in America. There's a film called American Violet. We screened it one time.
American what?
American Violet.
Okay.
We screened it at the Camera Film Club one time, and they literally framed people outside of a school and then got them to plead to a charge. Otherwise, they'd made them think that if they didn't plea and, you know, say, okay, we'll do this, they're going to get a much worse charge. They're not going to see their children. And then, again, feel the prisons. But, you know, the film's called American Violet.
Yeah. Wow.
Horrible.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That sounds like, well, anyway, there's so many cases like that. So it instantly made me think of the Central Park 5.
As soon as he said that, that's exactly what I thought of.
Yeah.
Literally walking up to them, you guys did it right. That's it.
And then we have to really bring it up to date. We have the Jonathan Majors situation whereby the police. I'm sure his name's Jonathan Majors, the actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
accused of something that he
accused of assault on his now ex-girlfriend, and then it turned out that she was lying, and now they're dragging, and the police were coaching her to say that he actually assaulted her, when it turns out that she assaulted him. And so, but now, because that was falling through, now all of a sudden we have this like I don't know, Cosby, Michael Jackson type situation where people are now coming out of the woodwork anonymously making accusations against him for similar historical claims against him as well. But it was interesting how the first thing seems to have fallen through because the police were the ones actually coaxing the woman to say that it was him when actually it was her that assaulted. Yeah. Basically, she drunk herself stupid, and people broke into her apartment because she'd gone missing, and they found her like drunk out of her head in a closet or something, and she'd mashed up her wrist or whatever. And she kept saying, "How did that happen? How did that happen?" They were asking her, "How did it happen?" She said, "I don't know." And she couldn't remember how it happened because she was drunk out of her head, and the police were caught on camera coaxing her to say it was Majors. Majors did it, yeah. And so that's how his whole life and his whole career is hanging in the balance while this thing hangs over it. Anyway,
mad one.
See how easy it is.
Week.
It is. You haven't got to do anything, especially as a black man, to be charged with anything. Do you know what I mean? Living while black is enough. It's enough. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I knew somebody was gonna get in the Bill Cosby MJ thing if I mentioned that. Yeah, Sam Cooke. We can go on. We can go on. Anyway, brothers, it is now 9 minutes past 11. Salute to you for coming on and sharing. Salute to all the people in the chat. It's been another great discussion. I hope you have enjoyed the chat. Thank you for all coming in and getting involved, joining the conversation with us. I'm sorry we didn't have the phone with us this week. Mr. Diesel has the phone, and as you know, he's watching Extraction 2.
He's otherwise engaged.
Yes, right now. So hopefully we'll have the phone back again next week, and hopefully we will have Brothers Friction and Mr. Diesel back next week as well. Brothers, everybody got their same schedules this week? Is everybody live streaming this week?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Back on it, mate. Back on it.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So I will be back on tomorrow, 7 p.m. I wasn't on last week because basically I was just too tired. I've had a really busy time of late, and it caught up with me last week. So I just threw in the towel. But I'll be back on tomorrow. Lots of events coming up, especially that weekender that's coming up. We've got One Nation this Friday, live PA from Millie Gibson flying in from New York. We also have comedy from a rising star in the world of comedy in this country as well. Natalie Nat going to be doing comedy for us as well. And HSA special guest. Lots happening. Lots happening. So I'll give you all of that tomorrow. Grown folks, you back on Thursday?
Yep.
More disrespect. More disrespect.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Tech Friday for you, or Thursday night and Friday?
Yeah, Thursday night, Friday. I want to try come down to One Nation on Friday. I'm trying to change a couple of things around and come down, mate. Pop down, fly and visit, mate. It's been a while. You know what I mean?
Good.
I want to see some disrespect. You know what I mean?
Butch, are you back yet, or are you still on timeout?
Nobody loves me, so I'm okay.
I'm on timeout. You on timeout, bro? What up to you?
No, he was a self-imposed because he was doing stuff, wasn't he? He was fixing up,
All
changing
right.
up things behind the scenes and whatnot.
So what is he looking for sympathy now for? What's he doing? What are you actually doing, bro?
I was trying it with the bookings. Everyone has super fantastic bookings. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. My hiatus is
yeah, man. My man says titty every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with it. My hiatus is gonna come to fruit. It's just I'm not talking about it, but it's coming. It's
all right.
It's
cool.
good.
Cool. Dave Knight, you popping up?
Not too sure, but you can always get a flavour of what I play on caramelradio.com 24/7.
Okay.
Oh, I might be on the hip hop raid. I got to work out 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Yeah, I got a message, so I got to get back. Yeah, but look out for me on the raid.
Somebody loves you.
Oh, yeah.
See?
I've just been reminded I'm not in town on Thursday, so I might not be streaming. Maybe I'll have to change day for one day this week. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
Exactly, Lenny J.
Perky.
Exactly.
Perky.
Kirksville. Yeah, man.
I told you.
Titties.
I told you we were gonna hear it when Lenny was in it. I knew Lenny was gonna bring it. I knew I could trust Lenny.
1-800 tight ass.
You know what, Laney? There's so much ammunition in what you just there because there's certain, anatomically there's certain things that could be higher depending on age, and when you put them, they put them low.
Is this another Apple game? Is this another Apple game?
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Let's just go. Let's just go. Let's go, man.
Putting that filth on my podcast, nastiness. Anyway, good night.
Good night.
Take care, peeps.
Oh, good grief.